Oh no. Hello, and thank you for joining me. Today, let's talk about the gift of presence. What does that mean? So, one of the questions that I have been asked many times is when a loved one is in the dying process, when there is a diagnosis for terminal illness. Sometimes family doesn't know what to do. They feel very inadequate. They feel family and friends, they feel very inadequate. They feel like they don't know what to do to be helpful. So, the gift of presence is an intentional presence with your loved one, whether it's your family, your friend, that is going through terminal illness, terminal diagnosis, or they are going through transitional, actively dying phase. You can provide the gift of presence to them. So that is very helpful because life teaches us that we need to be active. We need to be doing something. You need to be actively doing something for somebody. And actually, when someone is going through terminal illness, they are in the dying process, many times they don't need the people around them to be doing something for them. They just need them to be there. Notice the body is changing at many levels. They don't have the same energy level as they used to have. When you provide the gift of presence, don't go expecting your loved one to engage with you. When your loved one is terminally ill or in the dying process, they don't have the energy to give very much. There's a lot they are dealing with spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and certainly physically, and even socially. There are times when they feel like withdrawing. And the reason they withdraw from people who love them is not because they don't like you anymore, it's not because they don't need you anymore. Sometimes they withdraw because they are focused inward. They're focused inward on the things that are most important to them at that time. And some of that, a lot of that, is actually spiritual, emotional, and there's also the wariness. Naturally, it's easy to entertain people. When you invite people into your house, you can sit with them and you can talk with them and you can entertain them. When someone is in the dying process, they are focused more on their journey. Their journey is lonesome. You can't understand it. Those around them, no matter how much you love your loved one, you cannot identify with what they are going through, with what they are dealing with. So their journey is lonesome at many levels, but that doesn't mean that they don't appreciate you being around them. However, you see people getting tired of the presence of people around them. Why? Because many people don't understand that when a person is in the dying process, they don't have anything to give. So if you're going to them expecting them to sit and talk with you and pay you attention, they would rather that you are not there. And that's when you'll see some of them turning away. Many times you'll see your loved one just looking down and not giving you eye contact. And sometimes you'll see, like, when you try to hold them, like call them, you want them to move, you want them to respond to you. And sometimes they can be very upset to where they can grab you and even hurt you physically because you are trying to put on them more than they can handle at that time. So be aware, when you go to your loved one when they're in the dying process, you are not going there to get anything. For those who are parents, think of your children. When they are little, you take care of them without expecting anything. You enjoy sitting and watching them when they are sleeping, and you just think about them and pay them attention and smile at their smile when they are dreaming and sleeping. It's the same thing on the other end of life. You go to somebody who is actively dying, your job is to give to them. So the gift of presence means that you have to be present to them. It's undivided attention that you are giving them. So remember, as human beings, we are vehicles. We carry energy with us, whether we are aware of it or not. We carry energy. Have you ever met with somebody and when you met with them, you can sense anxiety? You feel like your body is trembling in their presence because people carry energy. When somebody is carrying a lot of anxiety, if you are keen enough, you can sense it. You can sense that somebody is anxious. If somebody is upset and you are around them, many times they don't have to tell you that they are upset. You can sense it because we carry energy. As human beings, we carry energy, and many times we are not even aware of the energy we are carrying. It takes a lot of self awareness and intentionality on self reflection and being aware of what you are feeling. Why? Where are you? What's causing it? What are the things that have happened in your life that could be triggering this feeling right now, this time? Self awareness. If you're not self aware, you can be carrying very negative energy. And sometimes we think that we can hide our energy. We think that if we are sad, that we can mask it. We think that if we are upset, we can mask it and no one will know. But actually, people can sense energy. That's how it is, even with your loved one when they are dying. They can sense energy around them. And if you are keen, you can sense their energy. So, your approach to someone who is in the dying process, whether they are um, actively dying, whether they are in the terminal stages but they are not yet actively dying, there will be days when different things are happening different days. Some days they will wake up and they are full of energy. They want to go to the shop and just get out of the house and do something different. But then on another day, they just want to stay home and they just want to be quiet. They don't want to talk. All of a sudden, they are aware of their mortality. They are thinking about it. They are processing it. And as a caregiver, it helps to be aware of those times and to know that your job is to be present to your loved one. Your job is to give to them. So when you are preparing to provide presence, number one, you need to center yourself. As a caregiver, you need to practice centeredness. Stay centered as you are caring for your loved one. What does that mean? That means you choose your attitudes. You center yourself. Take a moment to reflect on how are you feeling, what are you feeling, why are you feeling that, and if you are carrying any negative emotions, part of centering is dispelling those negative attitudes. You are saying, no, I cannot be feeling agitated right now. Deep breaths, breathe out, breathe in peace, hold it in, breathe out negativity. And do this repeatedly as you center yourself. You prepare yourself to give to your loved one. So if you're a visitor and you're going to visit someone who is dying, do the same thing. Center yourself first. Choose the kind of energy that you carry around a person who is in their dying process, actively dying, in their terminal process. Choose what energy you bring to them. Another reason that you need to center yourself is that you don't know what you're getting into. So you need to center yourself so that you are prepared to be centered no matter what you find. You might go to your loved one and find that they are very anxious. They are battling with anxiety. If you're not properly centered, you are going to take on their energy. You're going to take on their energy. And now there will be two anxious people, and that's not helpful to your loved one. When they are super anxious and you take on their energy and you become anxious, you actually cause them to be even more anxious. And now it's like this anxiety that is, skyrocketing in the atmosphere of your loved one. They don't need that. When people are in the dying process, they need a lot of understanding because they cannot come to your level. They don't have the same energy that you have. So, as the one who is not actively dying, whether you are a caregiver or a visitor or a family, many families are like, what do I do? Providing the gift of presence means you center yourself. And if you go and find your loved one is anxious, they are struggling anxiety, don't join in. Stay centered and help them calm down. So if you are calm, you can help another person calm down. As a chaplain of many years, this is what I did many, many times is enter into an environment, and I was always aware from the moment I come to the door, I'm paying attention to what's going on in the environment. And when I sense anxiety, the more I become centered. And my job is to help this person. Sometimes I would find the patient is anxious and the family is all anxious because they don't know what to do. And the anxiety level in that room is insane. I could sense it from the moment I reached the door. The anxiety is completely insane. And with enough practice, one of the gifts that the Lord has given me, and it's the gift that I had from many of the patients, their families, is that you are very calm and you are very calming. Now, this has taken developing. So I share this with you to say you can do it. It starts with being aware of yourself, and also being intentional that your job is to go and provide presence. So when I would find an environment that is skyrocketing with anxiety in the room, the family is there, they don't know what to do, everybody is going crazy. And I would get in there and calmly greet them, and calmly, sometimes I would verbalize it. And I would say, I sense a lot of anxiety in this room right now. And instantly, they would say, yes, yes. Okay, can we talk about it? What's going on? So, verbalizing things helps people start to come out of their feelings. It helps people start to come out of their feelings because when you are going to talk, you engage your mind in the talking. And so while your mind was going crazy because of the anxiety, when you get them to start talking, now their mind is engaged in telling you what's happening, what's going on. And they'll start telling you. And in the process, the anxiety level is coming down. Same to your loved one. If you're going to visit somebody who is in the dying process and you sense they are very anxious, you can tell them the same thing. I sense that you are very anxious right now. I'm here with you. I'll sit with you for a moment. And sometimes you don't have to say very much. Many times, actually, you don't have to say very much. Acknowledge and then be quiet. One of the things that I would do as a chaplain that I would also encourage family members to do is take a chair and sit by the bedside and put your hand underneath their hand. Always let your hand be the one at the bottom. Don't put your hand on top of a person who is in the dying process. That's too heavy for them. Their body is weak, their spirit is not in a position to handle that, plus they can't easily move their hand if they need to. So, your job, whenever you visit someone who is dying, your job is to serve them. So, put your hand underneath their hand and place their hand on top of yours. Now, you're not exerting any energy on them. They're putting their hand on your hand. And remember, the most important thing is that your heart is calm, your mind is calm, you are intentionally breathing in peace, you are intentionally here to calm them down. Put your hand under their hand, and now you are intentionally channeling energy through your hand into their hand. So when you are calm and you're intentionally channeling energy into their hand, it starts to calm their body. Don't be anxious and take their hand because you make their anxiety worse. So the work of intention on your part is to be very calm and very aware of yourself and why you are there. So, touch, healthy touch can be very helpful when you are providing the gift of presence. Put your hand, let them put their hand in your hand. And as a chaplain, many times I would do that. This is their hand, this is my hand, and I would have my hand under their hand, and I would also be interceding for them, interceding for them. And sometimes it's just even making that little, very little gentle movement as I'm interceding for them. And what happens is I'm not even praying out loud, but I'm interceding in my spirit. And really, as a chaplain, I'm there as a representative of God. So as I'm praying for them, the presence of God is doing his work. Remember, as you go to your loved one, you are not God. As a chaplain, I never took the place of God. My job was to bring the presence of God in whichever way Holy Spirit gives me guidance. So, as a family member, as a visitor, go there and let Holy Spirit guide you. And sometimes just sit and be with your loved one. Stay centered, stay listening inward. Listen, look at them. What are they looking like? Are they looking down? Are they making movement like this? That means they are under stress. Um, what are you seeing? And sometimes you can gently lift what you are seeing. And sometimes you can ask questions like, what can I do for you right now? And they might say, nothing. Then say, okay, I'll sit here with you and just sit. That is not time for you to be on the phone, watching clips on the phone, engaging in conversations over the phone, because now your mind is not there. Your mind is on the phone. It's not time to be engaged in other things. You are there to provide the gift of presence. It should be undivided. Whether you do that for 30 minutes, if that's all you can handle, but the gift of presence should be undivided attention. Be there, sit. And some of the times, I also did this with my mom when she was going through her dying process. Sometimes I would just go and sit there and I would just be looking at her, praying for her, and then she'd open her eyes and she'd look at me and smile and close her eyes again. Sometimes she'd wake up and she'd look at me and she'd stretch her hand to my hand. And I would take her hand and put my hand under her hand. And then she'd close her eyes again. Sometimes she'd wake up, she'd look at me and she'd say, you are still here, McKenna. And I would say, yes, Mama. She'd say, Iboega. That means thank you. And then she'd close her eyes again. Because as she got weaker, she didn't have that much energy to engage. But she was still very appreciative of presence. So when I was there in Kenya with her, I would sit with her, especially that week of November, even in summer, the month of July, after they diagnosed her with terminal illness and my mom was sleeping a lot, I would go and just sleep by her. And I would just sit there and provide her with presence. and she knew that I was there, she would say, "Thank you. Ibuega makena." She knew, but my mom knew the work that I have done for years. So she really felt there was connection between me and my mom. There can be connection between you and your loved one. If you show them that you know what you are doing and you are there for them, there is this spiritual connection that happens, and you can be there for your loved one in the way that is meaningful to your loved one. So know that you are the one who is going there to give them the gift. Sometimes you might ask them, "Can I read you the Bible?" And sometimes they might say yes, and sometimes they might say no. If they say no, don't think that they don't believe. There are times they are going to want to listen to the Bible. There are times they are so focused inside and they are dealing with something inside, and that is not a time they want to hear the Bible. Notice, in your life, you are not sitting reading the Bible the whole day from morning to night every day. So remember that when they say no, it's not a sign that they don't believe. Respect that. Just sit and be present. When you offer prayer and somebody says no, or they say you can pray in your heart, some of the patients that I visited, they would tell me, "Just pray in your heart." Others would say yes, others would say no. When they say no, they are not, many of them are not generally saying, "No, don't pray." They are just saying, "I don't want to hear your voice right now." That's what they are saying. "I don't want to hear your voice." So it's okay to sit beside them and just be praying for them in your spirit. But the gift of presence, basically, you are paying 100% attention to your loved one who is in the dying process. You don't need to be, okay, here's another one. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Um, so the gift of presence, you don't need to, okay, so our culture teaches us do something, talk. One question I can ask you, are you comfortable with quiet? Like when you are with a group of people, are you the person who is listening, who is observing, who is quiet? Or are you the person who, whenever there's silence, you jump in quick and find something to talk about? In our culture, we become very uncomfortable with silence. And it's important to train ourselves to be comfortable with silence. Train your mind to be comfortable with silence, because when a person is in the dying process, they are not able to engage. And especially as they get closer to death, to the active dying, they are not able to engage. And they don't want to keep hearing you talking all the time. They need the quiet most of the time. So pay attention. Many times, body language, they'll let you know, because sometimes you see them grimacing, which is a sign of pain or distress. The way they fold, and you can see this. See this fold on my face? Oh gosh, how can I do it? You see a big fold on their face, or wrinkles, where they fold their face and you can see wrinkles. Sometimes it's a tightening. You see their body is very tight. Those are signs of distress. So sometimes when you start talking and you see them tightening or you see them forming wrinkles, it's a sign that it's better for you to be quiet. So you learn to observe body language, or they start to fidget. Sometimes they just start to fidget on the bed. It's a sign of body language telling you they are uncomfortable with what is happening. So read them, read your loved one. Even when they are not verbally talking, you can tell them things like, do you want me to do this? Uh, Show me with your eyebrows. Can I read to you? And sometimes they'll go like this. They are talking to you. And sometimes they might shake their head or not move anything. So that's a sign of no. Sometimes it's the hand. Do you want me to do this? Squeeze my hand if you want me to read. And sometimes they'll squeeze your hand. And sometimes they won't. That's a sign they don't want you to. But it also depends, if you notice that they can squeeze, then use that until you can't use that anymore, because as death nears, even the energy to squeeze will diminish. So you just have to keep paying attention as they are changing. How are they communicating? Be aware and sensitive to their body language because they do communicate. But the most important thing is don't feel helpless when your loved one is in the dying process. I have many times encountered families that say, I don't want to go see my mom. I don't want to go see my dad because I don't know what to do for them. I feel uncomfortable because I don't know what to do. And family members refuse to go to their loved one. I have encountered it so many times where family members and friends are refusing to go to their loved one who is dying because they feel inadequate. They don't know what to do. So I want to encourage you that you being present is all they need. And let me tell you, even when your loved one is dying, sometimes they are thinking a lot about their family members. And when you don't show up, it's very discouraging to them. When they can talk, they will say, I haven't seen my children. I don't know why my children are not coming to visit me. And let me tell you, these families, these patients, the person who is in the dying process, they'll say these things to the chaplain, but they will not say these things to their children because they are trying to protect them. A mom is always a mom. A dad is always a dad. Even when they are 90 years old, they are still a dad. They are trying to protect their adult children from hurt feelings. So they'll confess things to me as a chaplain that they will not confess to their loved one. So as a chaplain, it's my job to call the kids, the adult children, and say, your mom was saying this, or your dad was saying this. And that's when they express, I don't know what to do. Just come, meet me there. Let's do the visit together. And then I would coach them on what to do. Some of them, some I would just tell them, yeah, just go be present. Sometimes offer water. Would you like a drink? If you find a glass of juice by their bedside, ask them, would you like a drink of juice? Sometimes that's the biggest blessing you have given someone who is dying that day, is to offer them that drink of water. Amen. Yes, mom will always be mom and dad will always be dad. That's very true. So, yeah, just offer a drink of something. And they might be very thirsty and not be able to talk. But these are things also you need, either the nursing um, or the doctors need to educate you, especially in Kenya. Sometimes when someone is in the dying process, they might be at risk of choking. So don't rush to give food and drinks. If they are non responsive, Don't rush to try to give water because they can take a drink and in the process of swallowing, they start aspirating, which can block their ability to breathe. It's a very scary and shocking thing. So when that happens, your loved one could die a very bad death because they are dying shocked and in pain. So towards the end, there's the swabs. You can take a little cotton, a little swab, and dip it in water and just touch their lips with it, or touch the tip of their mouth just to moisten their mouth so that they are not swallowing. Those are all things that either nurses or the team that is involved, which is why it's really important to involve hospice care. If you are in a place where hospice care is involved, involving hospice care is not a lack of faith, it is wisdom. Because hospice workers are trained on dealing with people towards the end of life. And remember, death is part of our life. Nobody will live for the rest of their lives on this earth. Death, just like birth, is part of our human life. Death is part of our human life. So, hospice workers are trained to help families at the end. And hospice workers, sometimes, by the way, as hospice workers, we see people living longer than we expected. Why? Because we are paying them attention, we are giving them love, we are training family how to help their loved one, and there is more ease that we help families alleviate stress and fear and guide them. And sometimes we see somebody who is terminally ill living little longer and with better quality life because of the care that is being given to them. So many times our minds are trained that when somebody is dying, we freak out and we run them to the hospital. And I can tell you that where they receive the best care is at home with their families. That's where they receive the best care. If they are in a facility where the family is able to come and be with their loved one, it's good. But in the hospital, remember the hospital workers are overwhelmed. They have many patients to care for. They are not going to sit there with your loved one. Many times, your loved one will be there by themselves. And a lot of times, they'll be suffering and they don't have somebody to tell. It's the reality. So, I really encourage home care for loved ones when they are facing death. It is possible. And that's why I do these videos, is to coach people, is to help families, because there's so much we can do for our loved one. Today, my focus was the gift of presence. Just being there is more than enough. Family members, go and just sit there. Let your loved one know you are there. And they'll really appreciate seeing that you still love them. When you don't show up, they feel neglected, they feel unloved. So go and provide them that gift of presence. Here's another one that I have heard. Families say, I don't want to see my loved one like that. When my mom was dying, she changed. Her face did not look the same. By the time she died, she looked completely like a different person. Because that's part of the dying process. The body changes. This person is not eating. Their sleep pattern is all over the map. They are dealing with a lot. their organs are shutting down. The skin will become darker, and the blood flow, circulation is not the same. So many things are happening which makes somebody change and look very different. And I've had family members say, I don't want to see my mom that way. I want to remember my mom when she was normal. But remember, is that what your mom want? Or do they need you? Your mom is your mom. She needs you. No matter how different she looks, she is still your mom. She needs you to be there with her. Your loved one needs you to be there with her. I can tell you, I watched my mom change. I was there 3 weeks before she died with her. And the difference that I continues continued to see was like night and day. And I came back to America and I would call her several times over the video, and I could see the continued change on a daily basis. And I saw until she took her last breath, she looked different, but she knew that I cared. The thing is, I can tell you one thing. I don't remember how different my mom looked and it affects me. I still have beautiful pictures of my mom with her smiling face. I still have memories of her smiling and talking to me and loving on me. So it's not going to be this imprinted picture in your mind of how different your loved one looks. I advocate for our loved ones when they are terminally ill, they need you. So go and be there for them. And sometimes all you gotta do is sit there. Sit there. In the process of sitting there, sometimes they might start talking. I've seen this with many patients. I've seen this with my mom. In the process of you sitting there and sitting there and sitting there, they'll start talking. And they might say some really profound things to you. They might tell you some of their wishes. They might tell you, you know, I'm dying. Don't tell them, no, you're not dying. We are praying. We are praying for a miracle. You are lying. And they know that. And that will make them shut down. They'll stop talking. They'll stop talking. Your job is to allow them to talk about what they want to talk about. I'm dying. Ask them questions. Is there anything I can do? Why do you say that? And they'll tell you. Ask them questions. Instead of telling them not to say that, ask them questions. What can I do for you? What would you like me to know? And they'll tell you. When you are uncomfortable, you make them uncomfortable. When you go to them as a gift, then you can really help them, even calming them down and bringing peace around them. So the gift of presence is intentional. You are intentional. You are there to help them. Your focus is them. Please don't bring your cell phone and be looking at your cell phone and watching things on your cell phone, making calls. When you go there with in mind to provide presence, be 100% focused on your loved one. And they'll know. If you're 100% focused on them, they'll know. And that's what they need. So that's what the gift of presence means. It means you're not going there to be busybody, trying to do this. And there's moments for all that. Sometimes you might want to help clean up their house a little bit, cook a little bit. It's not like you're going to sit there the whole day providing presence, but make it your mission to take moments to just go and be. Just go and be. Forget about everything else and just be there. They need that. It's called the gift of presence. May God bless.